thinking about it. And
okay, well, I'll let him know that we're on. So,
all right, cool. Yeah, we are live, everyone. This is Metal Asylum. Yeah, I can't believe, we're seriously honored. This is amazing. We're talking to James Rivera, who you know from Hellstar, Seven Witches, and a million other projects. One of the great voices of thrash and metal. James, man, thank you so much. It's really an honor to have you on and talk to you.
Well, thank you. Yes, I'm glad you guys put me on that pedestal. But let me tell you something. You know what? I always tell the truth, even when I'm lying. Okay.
All right, well, I'm going to step aside for a minute, but you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. But no, seriously, it's fantastic. But I think Rich had a couple of questions. So Rich, you get us started.
Yeah. Well, James, last time I saw Hellstar play was in, I'm looking at my computer, 2016 when you guys were with Flotsam in Jersey, the Stanhope House. Right. So that's probably the last time you guys were in this area, correct?
Yeah, and besides you and the other cardboard people that we set up, and then we borrowed the mannequins from JCPenney's because nobody was there. I mean, yeah, that's the last time I've been there.
That was a great show.
Yeah, it was fun. It was just one of those off-the-wall shows that we expected the crowd to be small, but the other shows, I mean, we had like really huge crowds in a lot of the shows, but we were supporting the Vampiro record, and I mean, you do what you got to do. Especially being in metal and touring the U.S. these days, it's hard unless you're a Metallica or Iron Maiden or Judas Priest and all that. Then it just doesn't work anymore. We sort of relied more on the weekend warrior thing, which makes sense to us. Fly into a market, do 3 or 4 shows, come home.
Right. So you guys have been doing that since then in other parts of the world?
What's that?
You guys have been doing that since then in other parts of the world?
Yeah, well, now in Europe we do a full tour, but in America we do segments because it makes sense. Yeah, especially with my guys. The main writer, Larry Berrigan, who's back, is a major IT guy. Mikey Lewis, the drummer's been with us now for 10 years. They're IT guys in big companies, and they use their vacation time to go out and play and tour and stuff. So I work around all that. And for me, it's better to do that and keep the real members in. When we did the Flotsam tour, we actually had to use the 2 guys from Cage. It was a 6 weeks tour. It was something that we need. The album was fresh, and I needed in the band. We all agreed you need to go out there and do this, and that's why we ended up with those fill-in guys. But the other guitar player, Andrew and Garrick, they're the real members of Hellstar to this day. They're the Young Bucks. We call them the Young Bucks down here in Texas. We call them Young Bucks.
Okay. So, I got to ask, I'm going to jump in. I haven't done all my linking yet, but I do have to ask because, there's the last 10 years of Hellstar, man, there's been so many great riffs on these records. It's just one after another from Glory of Chaos on. So who does the majority of the riff writing and the songwriting? Can you tell us a little bit about
Mr. Larry Berrigan. Yeah, related to El Chapo from Mexico. Yeah,
seriously, Larry one of the most underrated guitar players in metal. The guy's amazing.
He's the main guy. I mean, me and him are still the main writers for everything.
Same guy that's in this old picture from Burning Star.
Look at him. He is so pretty. I wish I was in prison and he was in my cell.
Speaking of this album, I have the reissue that came out, right?
Okay.
With the demos?
You have the 2 covers. Yes, the Red Reaper.
Why was there 2 covers like this and that one? Why was there 2 of them?
Because Combat Records in America put it out here, and then Music for Nations in England put it out in Europe, and they made up their own cover without even asking. I mean, we didn't even know.
So which one's the Burning Star then?
Then that's the UK cover. That's the European cover.
Okay.
And that one's the US cover. And so I like that one better, although it's kind of bubblegum. But you know what? The Red Reaper looks cool. And so we brought back that design for T-shirts. And now, but we put the new logo which you've noticed that the new logo is different from the old logo. It's almost the same. We added like little horns at the end, so it gives it a little bit.
A little different.
Yeah, it's a little more evil.
But back to this and your logo, actually, why was it in the beginning like this with only one L if you're Hellstar, and then why is the star a different type of star and not the usual pentagram?
Because we're not a satanic band, so here's the thing that really blew away a lot of people. Yeah, exactly. So our messages back then, of course, mainly me because of the writing. So when I joined Hellstar, they didn't even have a meaning to the name. They just said it sounded cool. Now, back then in 1982, you came up with names called, Satan's Hoof, Black Hole of Hell, whatever, it took, and it sounded badass. So they called Hellstar, which sounded pretty powerful.
Yeah, sure.
And then, so when I joined the band, we were cover bands back then. I came from a band called Scorcher, and we played a lot of Scorpions, Crocus, UFO, and Dio. They were the only band doing Iron Maiden, which nobody was doing that yet. And we did a Battle of the Bands talent show, and their singer, he couldn't remember the words. And, he had the look. He was all a pretty boy and all that. And then, hallowed be the, and so, and I was out there doing my stage presence, singing every word to every song. And Larry and his guitar player said, dude, we need that guy instead, and so that's how we ended up joining forces.
So they just saw you in the audience or hanging out?
No, they were watching my band, and I was watching their band. Both of our bands were competing.
Gotcha.
And I'll never forget the day that Larry came to my apartment door. How he got my address, I never know. And he knocked on the door, and I opened the door, and it's that little young guy, that shredder guy. And he's like, hey, man, we just fired our singer, and we need you. And your band sucks. And I think we can do a lot together, man. But anyways, here's my number, bro. Have a good day. He drives off. I'm like, wow. Anyways, well, history is made. And yes, I joined with Larry, and Hellstar was born. And
so one L and the different star was always part of the idea of going with everybody else was doing.
Because of the fact that it was different. And then the meaning came in. Well, what does it mean? I don't know, man. It sounds cool, doesn't it? I mean, okay. And I said, well, what if we just say that it means the falling star that brought destruction to the earth from God? It's got destruction. Yeah. Let's go with it.
That's heavy.
And that's what Hellstar. Okay. So if you go back in time, and now I'm going to start sounding religious, but I don't want to. But, I studied the book of Revelations for many years. And John said that, I saw stars fall from the sky, and they burned a third of the earth, turned all the rivers into blood, and everything, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, and the star was called Wormwood. Well, in my Bible, that star is called Hellstar. It's an atom bomb. So Hellstar is an atom bomb. And to this day, that's exactly what it'll always mean. Yes, it's a nuclear bomb. And so, and especially when we wrote Remnants of War and Distant Thunder, all the lyrics. If you go back in time, you read all the lyrics, and you piece it together. You go, you know what? This is almost Christian, but it's not. It's just that yes, Hellstar is an atom bomb.
Interesting.
Very
excellent. Yeah, you guys are getting history and scriptures here. You didn't know you were going to get all that. That's
now we're welcome in Mississippi and Missouri and all the Bible Belt places now. See,
well, I'm sure I'm sure you still frighten some people, but that's also what it's all about, right?
Because now I'm a vampire, so yeah.
Jeff, do you have a question? I got another one I can hit him with.
No, I got a million questions, but you know what? I'll defer. Go ahead, Rich.
Take your time. We got plenty of time. Go ahead.
All right. So one more from the past and the present. Is Nosferatu, the album, connected to Vampiro at all?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Because when we wrote Nosferatu in 1988 and the release was 1989,
Mm-hmm.
We were really on to something very huge, but we were so ahead of our time, and we didn't have the budget to do what I really wanted to do with Nosferatu. See, when Nosferatu came out, I really wanted the whole vampire image. I wanted to be brought out in a coffin every night, and then and lift the lid and the whole 9 yards. Well, the label shot it down. Even the band shot it down. Kind of corny. Yeah, let's just go out there with our skinny jeans and our high top white tennis shoes, wearing a cut off Anthrax shirt, and that's what we did. So my dream never came true. And then about 8 years later comes a band called Cradle of Filth. And everything they're doing on stage is exactly what I wanted to do. Wow. And he made millions. And he owns the horror Hammer film movies. Well, Danny Filth, I love you, but fuck you. And so when Vampiro came out, I said, no, we're not going to do that. I said, now I'm going to come out as the vampire. And so I connected the records because I wanted people from the Nosferatu era to go. It's kind of like the album that should have bypassed everything that happened before since Nosferatu. Okay. And then it would have just hit the world like a ton of bricks. And so now I'm, finally getting to live out that little fantasy, and I'm fascinated with vampires, and yeah, they're cool, but I'm fascinated with the Hammer film, Christopher Lee, who never really said a word. He just looked at you with those red eyes and said, "Get that thing out of my sight." He never said much, and it's so, and obviously Danny Filth is very fascinated with Christopher Lee, and because he bought the Hammer film, he bought the rights, and so with all that going on, and yes, it's very connected because I really wanted to catch up in time and say, look, this is what I would have did after Nosferatu if I could have lived out that image back then. But you know what? There was a lot of sense back then because people were like, okay, well, we're going to have a crew of 12 people to carry you out in a coffin. I mean, and the clubs were playing. What if there's no room? And there was all these legitimate reasons why we probably couldn't have done that stage show. But to this day, I feel like if I'd have capitalized on it then, where would I be now? And then again, maybe it was time for me to do it now. So it doesn't matter. And everybody relates to me now. My nickname is Vampiro. That's it. Just like that's the dude. And there's people like when I do the big, huge festivals in Europe and whatever, they don't even want a picture unless I'm wearing the fangs. No, you need the fangs. Jesus, I'm trying to eat. Yeah, because I can't eat with the fangs on, But all right, just for you, where are you from? I am from Slovakia. Please, I need a picture with fangs and cape and everything. And I'm like, geez, I'm already in my pajamas, dude. All right. Let's do it, So.
That's awesome. Yeah, the Awaken Unto Darkness video was fantastic. It looked like you were having a good time in that video too. It's
I was
surrounded by the vampiresses, or that's like. But so actually, Rich kind of stole my question, but I'll ask. So in the future of Hellstar, we're going to see more in this series. It's going to be like basically a third chapter in your vampire epic.
Yes, the new single drops. The video drops on the 18th, which is Tuesday. That's coming up next Tuesday. It's going to be and we've been waiting for a long time. The new single is called Black Wings of Solitude, and it has 3 different meanings, and it always relates back now to Vampiro, the vampire, and it's the first metal ballad that we ever written that is very straightforward. It's unlike most of the Hellstar stuff. It's very very intricate. It almost sounds like Beyond the Realms of Death by Judas Priest. And
I actually, not to interrupt you, but I actually talked to Jack a few days ago, and he said he heard it and he said it's like incredible, like one of the most amazing Hellstar songs you guys have ever written.
Yes, and everybody's calling it the epic metal ballad of the year, and we think that it's going to actually put us in another category. And it's about mainly it's me and Larry, we write everything together. When I started writing it, I was writing it about my at the time I was going through a lot of drinking problems, and to me that was hell. Just personal stuff that I was going through, and personal things I was putting my loved ones through. And then Bruce Corbett died from War Beast, which is a good friend of ours, from cancer. So Larry started throwing his own 2 cents about what it was about. And then at the end of the day, so you got the guy that wanted to say goodbye to drinking very heavy alcohol, which I already did. Jack can tell you, he said, dude, you're a different person now. Yeah, because I don't drink the vodka and the Jaeger like an animal anymore. I have champagne and wine with my girl, and you get to an age where you just don't want to be like that no more. And then Bruce Corbett died from cancer. And then I took it to a science fiction part of a vampire who doesn't want to be that way no more. He hates killing people and eating people, chewing on people. He just wants to be normal and touch the light. So it has 3 different meanings. So when you hear it, I mean, there's people that have heard the song and they're like, actually, fuck, man. It's very emotional. It's a very emotional song.
Is it going to be just the single, or is it going to be on the new Hellstar album when that gets done?
New Hellstar record. So basically, what Massacre has planned for us, because we have never had this kind of a situation where they really want the band to go up to where it belongs. The idea is to put up the single. On the other side is After All by Black Sabbath, Dio.
Right. Yeah, I see that.
7-inch single. And then it's an EP, 2 more new Hellstar songs, 2 more new covers. And then the full
are on the EP for the song
will be on the full album.
Okay.
Right.
So
it's just a way to keep the name alive and keep it in people's faces. Like, oh man, out of sight, out of mind. You know what? You're like, we become like the Taco Bell commercial. Hellstar, yeah. Oh God, when are these guys going to go away? They have a burrito for sale. Yeah, it's called Vampiro.
The dollar menu.
On the Hellstar Facebook page.
It would be on at least the $2 menu.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no offense.
James, on the Hellstar Facebook page, though, it says that the single drops in October.
The single drops as far as it being available in stores.
Oh, okay.
The video premieres on the 18th, which is this next Tuesday coming up.
Okay.
So, and the single has been written for almost 3 years. Okay. We actually originally wrote it for a movie, and the guy dropped the ball on that, and he never put it out. And that's why we wrote it so quick and so simple, because it's a simple song. But then now that we listen to it and go, oh my God. And then you got Martin Pfeiffer and Stefan mixing and mastering, who does Accept, Scorpions, and all that. They took it. And now that's who we're working with as far as producers and mixers and mastering. So we're moving up in the world, so it's kind of like, and the guy approached me at Alcatraz last year. And I was like, what? He's like, I want to work with Hellstar. And I go, you're kidding me. You're the dude that, yeah, I love your band. And they're the ones that mixed it and mastered the song. So when you guys hear it on Tuesday, you're going to go like, whoa, now you know where we're going. We're in the league with the real Germans. Yes.
Excellent. I think most of us from the old school, you know, we kind of put Hellstar there anyway. I'm not just flattering you. I think that's kind of how we see it. But I mean, it's excellent. Yeah, it's excellent that you're working with these guys and going to get the, you know, the recognition Hellstar deserves, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did I catch? I'm not sure. Did you say when the album's coming out? So Tuesday we got the single. What's
Well,
the release for the
the
album?
original plan before this stupid alien thing came down to Earth, that's what I call it. The original plan was April the 15th on my birthday, which, you know, passed a few months ago. The video was supposed to be premiered. The single was supposed to be out in May. The EP was supposed to be out now. And we're supposed to be in Europe doing Bang Your Head and all that stuff. And I'm supposed to be in Europe doing Seven Witches shows. So all that got pushed. So now the video gets premiered Tuesday. The single gets released to buy in stores and everything else, blah, 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 on October 2nd, which tells me now the EP will not be out till January. Yeah. And the full album, not till at least May, maybe late April, because we're already confirmed for Keep It True. So, you know, but if the album's not out, that's fine. The single and 2 more new songs, that's fine. We can go to Europe and tour on that. You know, we're not worried about it. But,
is the album actually done?
Yeah, we just have to kind of work with the way things are going.
Actually finished though? It's done?
Oh, most of the songs are done. We've been writing and recording, and it's going to be another epic record. I mean, right now the first 2 songs that we wrote already blow away Vampiro. As far as, you know, me and Larry are concerned, you know, that's kind of hard when you have to criticize your own music. You know, it's weird, but when we listen to the new songs, we're like, Vampiro, fuck, that was Osmond Brothers, man. Yeah, I don't even do that. Album sucks. That's how we are, you know. Yeah, don't even. Who were those queers wrote that shit? It was me and you. No, it wasn't. Yeah, so we kind of go that way about it. We always try to outdo ourselves, and that's why every album's always been better and better and better, because we feel like there's always something to learn. And when you limit yourself and you start writing records that sound the same over and over again, you can tell. And I'm not going to mention some bands, but it's obvious. And that's why they start becoming like, oh God, another one of these. All you did was rewrite the lyrics. Really? You know, it's kind of like, you know, you got lazy. You didn't even care to try to do something different, or at least add some integrity to what you did on the last record. It's kind of like, you know, but you know, it's common. It's common, especially with metal bands, you know, and most bands. I mean, but we always try to go, nah. You know, this song, and if we do come up with some kind of material and it doesn't stand up, at least to what we did before, it's automatically out of the picture. You know, nah, that one's got to go. Yeah, you're right. It's pretty lame. Yeah, it is. Pretty breaking the law.
Well, I mean, you can name names if you want. Talk about the other bands that are still dialing in. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So yeah, sound like Donald Trump. You know, I really like those guys, but you know, the last 3 albums kind of sucked. You know.
But you know, yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I loved it when I got the stimulus check. Love Donald Trump. The little letter he sends you, yeah, you know, and it explains why you're getting the stimulus check. You know, love Donald Trump. Can't wait for the new Hellstar record. No,
I went out and bought another limousine with my check.
Yeah.
So
but I was gonna
let's switch it up and give us a little update on what's happening with witches.
Yeah, that was my question too. Yeah,
So now, you know, I contacted Joaquin, and we just sort of started talking about what we have already done, the years, you know, the best witches records, and people can argue about it, whatever they say, but I know, and I think you know, the best Seven Witches records were the things that me and Jack did together. Passage to the Other Side was a monstrous record, you know, along with Joey Vera, and it set the milestone of what Seven Witches should have been like for the rest of the years. Whatever happened at the time when we didn't continue, well, you know, things happen. But, you know, we realized, being brothers that we are, we saw that, like, man, it's not going to get ever any better than this. And that's when we decided to join forces again. And we did the Cleveland Metal Fest. We did the 70,000 tons. And it's like the band had never been apart. And so now Seven Witches is signed to Massacre Records as well with Hellstar. So it's like the whole family's. It's like I'm bringing, like, it's kind of like I am kind of a real Mexican. I'm bringing my whole familia. Yeah, Seven Witches, Hellstar, let's bring it on the Massacre Records. And so we all got a job at Massacre Records. Some of us cut the yard, the other ones paint the house, whatever, you know. So it's kind of like the whole family. Massacre just took my whole family at one time. And it makes sense, you know, because Jack started on Massacre as well with Seven Witches before I was in it with Bobby. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, you know, the best Seven Witches is Bobby. What I did, I don't mind the Innocent Exile too much at all, but to me, it's still not in the realm of what the real Seven Witches is all about. And so the new album will be completely back to Passage to the Other Side. And we already agreed on a title, which is very simple, Back from the Other Side. And so we're going to bring you guys what you guys been missing since Passage and Metal Asylum the most. And of course, you know, Call Upon the Wicked was a very great record too with Mike LaPon. But I think that the first two are still like the most classic. And I want to focus on us delivering everything as close to possible as that. And then when you have that title, Back from the Other Side, it's got to be exactly where we left off. Because that's what fans are going to go, oh my God.
Are you and Jack working on another song that's like the title track that's also an epic, but it's called Back from the Other Side as well?
Yes, we are. Okay. And so, you know, he's sending me ideas already, or as he says, ideas. But yeah, I mean, we're working on that now. And so the album's got to be like at least 2 Mental Messiahs, 2 Dance with the Deads, you know, 1 Apocalyptic Dreams. It's got to be back right where we left off. And if we do that, Seven Witches will be right back on the scale and probably surpass Hellstar, which Seven Witches got bigger than Hellstar. That's the secret to it. We have to come back with that in full force. I mean, it just metal as possible in your face, just like the way that album was. And you know, I listen to that album all the time in the car, and it just amazes me what we did. You know, and it's kind of like that weird artist bury the ego thing, and every once in a while you will pat yourself on the back and go, wow, I did a great job. And you know what? And it's worth it, because yeah, a lot of people praise you in the world, but you know what? If you don't love yourself, who else is? And that's kind of the way I see things, is that if I don't love myself, then who else is? You know, and that's always been a saying for years as a human being. And you got all these fans that love you. They're expecting a lot out of you. Well, yeah, that was a great album. So let's bring out another one. You can do it. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Do it 2 more push-ups a day. Instead of 50, do 52.
And so, how is your approach different between when you're writing for Seven Witches versus Hellstar versus, you know, any other project? What's your approach like? How does it differ?
Well, because musically it's different, although it's almost the same, but it's not. With Hellstar, the thing that makes it easier is that Larry writes a lot of lyrics too, so I don't have to worry about writing too many lyrics when it comes to putting out a new Hellstar record. But we write together, And with Jack, he writes some lyrics, but I think he relies on me a lot to just kind of come up with my own thing. And he comes up with the riffs. And then it allows me to do something totally different than what I would do in Hellstar anyways. You know, Seven Witches is a little bit more melodic, I think, in a sense. So it allows me to be a little bit more of that. It's time to bring out the Beatles, man. I'm going to go back and listen to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And take some of those ideas and throw it in here and make it metal. Yeah.
Get the sitar going.
There is no such thing as originality anymore anyways. And if you're going to steal from anybody, steal from people that wrote great stuff. The Beatles is one of my favorites. I mean, I could take probably some ideas of some John Lennon melody here and there for the rest of my life, and you would never know it. It's just because they wrote so deep, you know.
What Beatles cover would you want to do with any of your projects?
Oh, dude, Eleanor Rigby. Talking to George when the morning and no, nobody sees. Yeah, just
Excellent.
they had a lot of harmonic minor stuff, which was really good about the Beatles. Even their pretty songs. He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. I mean, it's like, dude, it's like Peter Murphy meets Jeff Tate, you know? It's just gorgeous. It's just, and so I use a lot of those ideas with Witches because it makes more sense because Jack writes a lot of beautiful songs that are open for vocals, whereas Hellstar is a little bit busier. So I have to be careful, and you can only get so melodic in a band that's underneath the chorus is going, it's different than going, it's two different worlds. So it's not that hard to write differently for both bands.
Sure. Yeah, Rich, I think I stepped on you. You had a question, so my apologies, Rich.
That's all right. That's all right. We got everything. Do you have something, or I could do something?
Well, I'll ask James. Yeah, I know. We don't want to tie you up too long, James, but I know you got other stuff going on. I want to make sure you can get out. You're the busiest. You're the hardest working man in show business, man. We got to talk about some of this other cool shit you got going on. Tell us this other exciting stuff.
Well, the tribute bands, which you guys have known, I've been doing that for years. Sabbath, Judas Sabbath became world known. That's almost 20 years old. And I've done tribute to Scorpions, and Iron Maiden, of course, Mr. Ronnie James Dio. All right, say hello to my little friend. Yeah, take it easy. Okay. Hey, put him in his pocket. Hey, what's going on down there, Dio? Hey, what's going on? He's so little, you can put him in your third pocket, But because so many bands now are doing the same tributes, especially here in Houston, it's an overkill. And I'm just kind of like, oh, another one of you. And most of them are horrible. There's a lot of good ones and there's a lot of horrible ones. I decided to do something totally different. I told Jack about this idea and he flipped out on it. He's like, dude, I can't wait to hear it. So my big love right now is this thing that I put together, and it's called MetalWave, which there's never been a band called MetalWave. It's an expression, and I looked it up. There's no band called MetalWave. So I went with the name, and I came up with the idea. And, of course, I have the services of Larry Berrigan on guitar, and he's the one who's composing everything. Aside of my passion and lifestyle for heavy metal, which everybody knows I love and adore, I've always listened to Peter Murphy, Bauhaus, Depeche Mode, The Cure, Sisters of Mercy, Tears for Fears, Psychedelic Furs, Echo and the Bunnymen, blah, 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 on that line. Now, when you think about it, here we are almost 40 years away from the 80s. We are 40 years from the 80s. Back in the day, when you listen to metal, you didn't get caught going to a Duran Duran concert, or you got your ass beat by the guy in the vest. And then the one guy that spotted you out, it's like, dude, I saw that guy Duran Duran. Let's kick his ass. And then your thing is like, whoa, hold on a second. What were you doing at Duran Duran? I was dropping off my little sister, man. Yeah, right. So anyway, now anybody from the 80s would say, I would rather listen to The Cure any old day than Justin Bieber. I mean, that's just the way it is. The music today sucks. Yeah. And goth and dark wave and the heavy metal always ran a parallel line anyways. The look, right. The clothing. So I came up with this clever idea. And what I'm doing is a tribute to 80s new wave, dark wave, goth, heavy metal style. And we've already started recording it. I mean, we've got Black Celebration recorded by Depeche Mode, and we've got Love Song by The Cure already recorded. And people that I know in the industry, already 2 labels want to sign it. And we're just thinking it's just a band to play live with. But when you hear it, you're going to flip out. And it's like, holy shit. Yeah, Tears for Fear. All that's David Bowie, all that stuff, but we're doing it metal. And it's incredible. And that is my secret. And it's
that sounds fantastic, though.
I think it's going to be one of those kind of bands that it's going to be House of Blues material, just like that, because nobody else can do it. No one else has done it, and no one else be able to do it just like we do, because we're actually taking originals and making them originals, so to speak, because no one has ever done that. And Larry, the mastermind, has been putting a lot of time in this. And the version of Black Celebration right now, because you guys are special, I'm going to go ahead and send you the MP3s. It's not even done. Real drums, bass need to be done. It's just a rough mix, but it gives you an idea where we're going. And
yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Everybody that's heard it so far is like, dude, this is taking over the world. And I'm like, and I've thought about this idea for about 10 years ago, because I've been a fan of that music all my life. Even Jack can tell you, that I've always been a goth boy, and Depeche Mode is one of my favorite bands. Dave Gahan is, Peter Murphy is God to me, every time they come in town, I'm there in the front. What? To me, it's like Peter Murphy recognized me several times. Like, there's that crazy fire guy, Oh, yeah. Dude, I just love him. David Bowie, all that stuff is it's great music. And I think like I said, it ran a parallel line with heavy metal anyways. So now I get to be even more of a vampire, So.
Yeah, the Disintegration album. I mean, how all of us loved that. It was just
every song. Yeah.
And Depeche Mode, my wife took me. They're so amazing. They're so amazing live. Like you said, Dave Gahan still got it. Like,
dude, and if you listen to the album Black Celebration, every song, it just like. And what a lot of people don't know is because they're so harmonic minor and gothic. If it wasn't for Black Celebration, there wouldn't have been no Nosferatu. Because when I was writing the lyrics and the melodies to Nosferatu, I was listening to Black Celebration, and I had a little keyboard that Larry let me borrow. And I was writing the melodies to Nosferatu, combining with what I was inspired by with him. And you'll hear it if you really pay attention to certain songs on Nosferatu. You'll hear that same scale that he did on Under This Roof. Here is a house where it all happens, of tender moments, and it's all, it's crazy, how these bands influenced me a lot. And I have to say, big shout out to you guys. I know you're still, you still look 21. Yeah. But if you guys are, ever see this video, I love you guys, all of you guys. Robert Smith, I know you had a lot of problems with your girlfriend, so I don't know why you left me again. I just don't know why. I love that guy. He's awesome.
He still has the pictures, though, right?
Yeah. He just breaks them. Yeah, I don't want to see this no more.
But I want to hear. I absolutely want to hear your voice on doing Dave Gahan or Robert Smith or Peter Murphy, like you said, because he's such the baritone. I want to hear this.
Yeah, make sure you text me your emails, and that way I can send them to you. That way you can check it out. And like it's top secret for now. It's for you for your own listening pleasure, but it gives you an idea of what we're doing with this. And then
what's your timeline for that coming out possibly?
I want to announce it on August 31st. I'm going to have the page already done, logo, everything, and MetalWave. It's going to be combined into one word. And M's going to be a little bigger, and the W is going to be a little bigger with maybe some kind of pitchfork things. Very gothic looking, And when we play live, we already have a stage show planned with the candles and the whole 9 yards. And like when I saw Depeche Mode the first time and Black Celebration, I wanted a huge white screen with the MetalWave logo transparent, and then all you see is the silhouettes from the band members. And then when the final thing comes, and then it drops, and then the band's revealed. That's what killed me when we saw Depeche Mode, dude. They were just so dark. Me and Larry were there making fun of it. We thought we were going to go make fun of, let's go beat up on these little flock of seagull motherfuckers. And then all of a sudden, everybody walked in looking better than we did. All in black, Ooh. So we're like, man, are we in the right place, man? And then they opened up Black Celebration, and it was so like King Diamond. We were like, yeah. Yeah, it was metal. It was dark.
Are you going to stick to like the original layout of the songs and the melodies and everything? You're going to be changing.
Yeah. When you hear the song, there's nothing changed as far as melody and the chorus, especially. Of course, singing wise, I do sing a little higher on some parts than he does. The Cure. I mean, I'm even doing more the David Bowie thing meets Robert Smith meets James Rivera. So no, but the songs are exactly what they used to be, but done metal now. And
awesome.
You'll be blown away. Yeah, you're going to be blown away when you hear it. I hope so.
Do you have keys?
I'm just hoping that the world is kind of. Oh yeah, keys. No, how about this? Hammond organ. It's an organ. So it's totally Phantom of the Opera and Dracula. Dude, it sounds very evil. I mean, it's dark. Yeah, when you hear Black Celebration, you're gonna be like, okay, if you don't like it, tell me. If you love it, let me know. It's totally it sounds like watching a Hammer film Dracula movie. That's what we're going for.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, again, I don't want to take up too much of your night, Rich. Did you have some? I got a couple more questions, but James, you just let us know when you got to go. But Rich,
yeah, just give me 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Oh, sure. Okay. All right. So yeah, if you don't know, we're on with James Rivera of Hellstar and Seven Witches, and cool stuff, man. I mean, that's exciting.
Yeah, that new wave, metal wave thing sounds very interesting.
Yeah. Well, I like me. I like all the bands that he called out. So, we should. I know James isn't sitting here right now, but yeah, we got Nimrod BC jumped on, said James Rivera, awesome singer. Saludos desde Chile, and I'm sorry for my accent. And Michael Dodora said, all right.
That's Mike Dodora. What's up, Mike?
Yeah. Then some guy named Metal Asylum said something, and then Janessa Press, who can't leave her out, said Joaquin.
Well, I shared the link. I shared the link in our interview to the Black Wings of Solitude single that's going to be coming out.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, and Jack Frost apparently is watching.
It doesn't have the right date though. It has the date for the physical format, but not the single that's coming out next week, like James said.
Well, it's the video. The video promotes the single, right? So the video comes out next week, and you guys are going to love it. I mean, this guy put a lot of work into it, and it's we shot it in Laredo, Texas. We shot it in Houston, and then he finished it in Slovenia, which he's from Slovenia, and it's almost the quality is like watching Vikings or something. It's got all kinds of stuff, and of course, yes, I am a vampire. like always, from here on out, But, I'm even thinking that maybe it'll work with 7 witches. Witches and vampires get together, and I think Jack's okay with it. Like, dude, that's it might even take it to another level, I mean, I can't wait for us to put that out, which is going to be incredible, back from the other side. That's just like, it's just, I can picture the album cover already,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So I got to ask James, since you talked about a lot. So, and you mentioned Christopher Lee a bunch. So who are your favorite vampires? Give us a couple of those.
Christopher Lee, number 1, no doubt, hands down. It's like asking who's the best James Bond? Sean Connery. Okay, so Christopher Lee. He's the one that actually brought out the dark image of Dracula.
Horror of Dracula, really.
Satanic, but yeah, because the first one that came out with the red inside the black cape and just evil. He really, Bela Lugosi brought out this romantic part of it, which,
right.
And he was the first Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
But he never really did anything for me. It was Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
After that, I
Absolutely.
really can't say. I mean, I guess what's his name did a good job in Dracula. What's his name?
Francis Ford Coppola one.
Yeah, close to the book and all that. Yeah, he didn't do a bad job, but nobody can touch Christopher Lee. I mean, that's just untouchable. He just, dude. He never, like I said, he never really said much. He just looked at you, and you're like, "What? Go ahead, put your dick in my ass. I'm sorry.
Right.
You can do whatever you want to me." Yeah. It was crazy. But but he was my favorite for sure, Christopher Lee.
Cool. All right, I got one more. Then I'm going to shut up and let Rich ask a couple questions.
No, don't worry about it. I even have more time now. So.
All right. Well, so I mean, you talked a little bit about Houston. I mean, talk to us a little bit about the Houston metal scene and the bands that are coming out. I mean, Texas and Houston. I realize Texas is a big place, but we'll start with Houston. Talk to us about the metal scene there and the bands that are just that are your favorite there.
Well, like I said, Houston's kind of oversaturated with a lot of tribute bands right now, and there are some that are really good and do justice to what they're doing. But I can name them on one hand. Then there's all these other ones that I want to stick my finger down my throat and go, what? It's like, really? And as far as like original bands, there's a couple of good ones that are coming out. But, as busy as I've always been, I really don't pay attention to a lot of what's going on in town anymore. I guess just like anybody else, I sort of get wrapped up in my own world, and then I'm like, oh yeah. As far as like a major metal band that's done very well and is very awesome musicians, killer, and very unique, very different, is a band called Oceans of Slumber, and they've been taking the world by storm. They've been taking the world by storm too. So. But see, that's just me. So I don't know if I'm being cruel or, but if it's something that it doesn't have any integrity to me, then I can't get into it, and I can't fake it. They're like, "Man, I haven't seen you in none of our shows." That's because I don't want to go. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like one of those things, But Blues Funeral, great band. They're taking leaps and bounds. As a matter of fact, the organ player and guitar player are in MetalWave, and they're a very unique band. They love old school Deep Purple and stuff, so they're more into that. What do they call that? Stoner rock, stoner metal, and kind of one of those. Yeah, exactly. But other than that, there's so many bands that have been around that come and go, and like I said, I don't really know. A lot of very lame black metal bands, a lot of very lame death metal bands that think that they are, and you know how you can always tell, because these are the guys that show up at load in and sound check, and they already have all the gear on and the makeup at 3 in the afternoon. It's like 102 degrees outside. You know, the show doesn't start for another 5 hours. I know, they're unloading their gear and they're. It's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I'm just here in my thong, and that's it. It's the afternoon, man.
That's a different image, right? Yeah, the thong and the fangs, right?
Yeah, thong and fangs. Yeah. No, but I mean, it's Houston doesn't have a lot to offer as far as great bands. Like I said, a couple of them that I can name off here and there. Tribute bands, so much of them. There's a great Ozzy one, a great Scorpions one, a good Iron Maiden one, and other than that, I just think Sabbath Judas Sabbath was the king, and then everybody else is doing all the tributes anyway, so it's like I don't even do it anymore. But I started that 20 years ago, so and I've noticed how it's becoming very important to a lot of people. Like and I get it. It's like, hey, I just want to play some songs from bands I used to love, and I'll never be able to tour, and I'll never be able to put out a real record, and and they go on stage and definitely don't even look like the people that were in the band. So like tribute bands here have changed so much. They're not even about the look. They're just about playing it right, which is better, I think, in a sense, because I'd rather hear the song sound like the song than see somebody or look like the guy and then totally singing off key and everything,
Yeah. All right, Rich. Go ahead. I think you had some questions.
Well, we got 10 more minutes. So what's a favorite moment that you've had during your career?
A favorite moment? My whole career?
Yeah. Something that really stands out, a great memory.
Jesus, that's a hard question, dude. Yeah, I knew you were, damn it, school teacher. Man. Hey, that's. I mean, there's so many great memories, Rich. That I would say that it's. My honest answer to that would be it would be unhonest for me to say that one memory was better than the other, because they all have been good. But I will say this. It was in 2001 when my band Destiny's End was stomping the earth. And we played Bang Your Head in Germany. Huge festival, 500,000 people. Scorpions was the headliner. And Destiny's End had played earlier that day. And I'm backstage and I'm hanging out and I'm having beers, eating some goddamn bratwurst, whatever. And there's Rudolph Schenker. I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, Rudolph, I don't know if you remember me, but I met you at Jeff Hammer's house when he had the in-store things, Texas Tapes and Records. There was a guy that had a record store here in Houston, huge record store. And he had all the big major heavy metal bands come in and do the in-stores. But because Hellstar was, in his eyes, which he loved us, we were considered not just a local band. We were considered a national. He always invited us to the in-stores, and we always were allowed to hang out with the rock stars. And then he always had a private party at his house near Galveston. And it was pretty crazy. I'll just say that much, all right? Like naked women dancing on the pool table? Yes, that existed, all right? Yeah. And you're hanging out with Klaus and Rudolph. If it wasn't them, it was Bruce Dickinson and Steve Harris, but Hellstar was always invited. So when Scorpions came, of course, I had to talk to Klaus, like my favorite singer. Like, and he's drinking Perrier water. And the minute I saw that, I put my beer down and I was like, oh. you know. Yeah. Anyways, and then there's Rudolph Schenker. He's playing pool. You know, he's having a beer. Yeah, you know, and the party is going on. You know, and he goes, Jeff Hammer, yes. And I go, yeah, James from Hellstar. Yeah, I played earlier. Destiny's in. Yeah. And I go, do you know that Hellstar did "He's a Woman, She's a Man" on our third record? I think I see Klaus. And he starts talking in German. Yeah. He starts talking to him in German. He's like, and then Klaus comes up and he's all like a little wiggle worm like he always is. Yeah, man. Hey, man. Yeah. 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 Hey. Then I still knowing I do. Hey, man. How would you like to come sing "He's a Woman, She's a Man" with Klaus on stage tonight?
Wow.
Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, man. Wiggle worm. Yeah, I sing all the verses, and you come in with all the choruses, you know, man? Yeah, it'll be awesome, man. And I'm like, oh, my God. So the next thing you know, their entourage comes and grabs me like CIA agents. They take me, they hand me a wireless microphone, they sit me on the side of the stage while they're playing all these songs, and they go, we give you signal, don't worry. You know? And then all of a sudden, Klaus Maney goes, I go, oh, these guys. Yeah, James Rivera. Yeah, from Destiny's Child. I go, wait a minute. I'm dark, but I'm not that dark, you know? It was Destiny's end. Yeah, he's a woman, she's a man. And then I walk out on stage. Klaus gives me a big hug. Rudolph gives me a big hug. You ready, man? Let's go. We did "He's a Woman, She's a Man" on stage together. That's a memory I will never forget.
That's a great story. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know you were in Destiny's Child. I didn't know that. Did you get married to Jay-Z?
I wish I had her money. Yeah, exactly.
That's a great story.
No, it was, and that's a true story, and it's so, and I have pictures of it too, and I'm like, wow, that was so amazing, you know, like just singing with my hero on stage. It's just like, wow, it's crazy, you know.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. Good.
So,
well, Jack, you got anything else? Because we're running out of time. I know we got like 3 or 4 minutes, right?
Yeah, we only got a couple minutes, but yeah, I just want to say, yeah, it's been an honor, James. You know, like I said, it's just one of the great voices. I guess one of the things I'll point out. I guess I'll just say it. You can comment on it. I think you still got it. And it's, you know, some of these guys, they lose their voice, they lose their edge over the years, but you still got as much power and fire as you did, you know, 30 years ago or more. So,
and you know what? And even more so now. That's what Larry says. He goes, dude, you're just like getting better and better over years. And I said, well, it's like a fine wine. But I think it's because, you know, I kind of follow the principles of a lot of things that singers kind of should do in a sense. But I don't like to live in a box where, like, you know, oh, you shouldn't drink alcohol, you shouldn't do this, you should, you know. After a while, you'll get bored. And I know there's singers out there that are so, I call them the aerobic singers. And they, you know, all they do is drink water, and they are just like, no. You know, I don't do that. And I'm thinking to myself, well, goddamn, what kind of life do you have, though, aside of that? You know, it's like, I'm one of those guys that like to go out and have Italian food and a couple of fucking bottles of wine. So what? You know what? And then I drink a bunch of water before I go to bed, and I sleep 10 hours. Wake up. Oh, hello. You know, I mean, so there's scientific things about your voice. One of the most important things is sleep. So that's a good thing, because, you know, everybody would make me for a lazy person. It's like, no, he's still sleeping, you know. But you know what? Yeah, you sleep 8 to 10 hours a day, your voice is going to work fine. You know, drink a bunch of water before you go to bed if you kind of hit the bottle a little too hard the night before. There's all these little tricks that I've learned. And so for me, it works that way. And I think it's mentally up here, and soulfully and physically. that if I don't get to be myself, then I don't want to sing anymore. If it means, oh no, I can't do that. Sorry, I've got to have Perrier water. You know, I can't do that. And so for me, I think just being myself is what's helped, is knowing my boundaries and knowing my responsibilities, which have gotten better over the years. I mean, I was out of control at some points. Yes, I was. But now that I have everything under control, and enjoying life, enjoying who I am, enjoying doing this interview, I'm going to go record tomorrow. And I'm probably going to sing like a fucking blue jay on fucking Viagra. You know? So, you know, I mean, I think what it's all about is how your soul feels. Because your voice is part of your body, and it's part of your emotions from your soul. And if you don't have that soul, you're not going to be able to sing as good anymore. You've lost that soul. And that's what I don't want to do. I've tried being straight, completely straight, stop drinking. Dude, I sounded like fucking Lemmy from Motorhead. The king is dead. The king is dead. You know, it wasn't there. It just wasn't there. And I realized, you know, look, you just need to be yourself. Don't worry about it. And I go to karaoke bars and I do Neil Diamond and all that. So those karaoke bars, man, I've had a couple of glasses of wine. I'm feeling a little tipsy. I'm having a good time. Subconsciously, I'm not thinking about how I feel. I'm just going, I'm going to sing that song and just blow people. Dude, Sweet Caroline, I've killed people. I've had older women want to marry me. I got money. Yeah, I know. I got a beautiful Finnish lady. Sorry. You know, but it's just, yeah, I think what it comes down to is everybody's different. And for me, the most important thing to keep my voice the way it's going is my soul, and just being me and enjoying life. And without that, you're an unhappy person anyway. So how can you sing well if you're unhappy?
Yeah, well, I can't top that. That's that's a great. I think that's a great way to wrap this up, man. But Rich, I mean, I don't know if you by all means, if you got more. But James, I want to say thanks again. I look forward to all the music, man. But,
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Rich.
It's good to see you, man.
Okay.
So, King Kong versus Godzilla.
Next year.
Fly up there. We go, hey, see it together. Hopefully,
yeah, right.
We'll go to the movie.
It's coming out in the spring, or right around the time when your albums are coming out. So, what's that?
So I'll fly up there and we'll go see it together. And we'll go to a studio movie grill. I'll get a couple of bottles of wine, order a pizza, and then it's going to be badass.
Who do you got? Who's going to win? I mean, I know they're going to. I'm pretty sure that they're going to join forces. And they're going to fight a bigger problem. So, but before that happens, who do you think is going to take?
You remember the original King Kong versus Godzilla?
Yeah.
Nobody really won. It was a draw. Drifted off to the sea, and then he drifted off. I mean, I guess they both like, I'll see you again, you know.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, you stole my taco. Yeah, fuck you too. And they just kind of walked away, you know. But I just don't see how King Kong can actually. He's from Earth. There's nothing special about him as far as powers. Godzilla's got radiation and all that stuff, so I just don't see how he would lose. I mean, Godzilla would lose.
I think in close quarters,
they're going to make the movie where King Kong has some underlining thing that we don't know about.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're giving.
Boom! He sticks it in Godzilla's butt. Ah!
They're giving him a weapon. He's got a battle axe or something. So I think that's going to be his upper hand.
Oh, his battle axe.
Really?
He's kind of like,
dude, he's from Saxon. You know,
he's got like a giant tree trunk with like a rock on the end or something. So it's gonna be a throwdown, definitely.
Oh man, that's gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
and they're gonna be playing Saxon Crusader.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Soundtrack
Nice.
by Man of War. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, guys. Well,
So,
man, it was a great
yeah.
interview. Thank you, man, so much. And
Yeah, we'll do this again when you got the Hellstar coming out.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. But I've met this guy several times. I've stayed at his house. I showered. I slept naked in his bed. You know, he wasn't there. But no, man, Rich and I go back.
Yeah,
20, close to 20 years now, man.
almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait to meet you. And then, of course, you know, when I do start doing the vocals for the Seven Witches records, I'm going up to Joaquin's, and I'm going to be there for at his house probably for about 2 weeks.
Oh, cool. So I'll be seeing you.
And let's just hope that by then, you know, all this is cleared so we can all get together in a normal way. If not, we'll meet with the mask and whatever else, and you know, whatever you got to do. You know, I mean, before I did this, I had a nice afternoon lunch with Tanya and go to this barbecue restaurant, and you know, it still freaks me out that you walk in, you have to have the mask on, and then you take it off while you're eating. So what's the sense?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm breathing now.
Crazy.
Give me some water. Give me another glass wine. You know, it's crazy. Like, is this really protecting you? It's got to be political too, in a sense. I don't even want to go there. I just have a feeling that there's a bunch of bullshit going on. You know, aside of, I know that the coronavirus exists, but there's a lot of political bullshit going on, and I don't want to go there. But I see it happen, and I tell you what, love Donald Trump. I can't wait for the new Hellstar record. You guys take care, man.
Yeah, you too. Thanks again.
Yeah, and hang around for a minute. Yeah, hang around for a minute. When we're going to go, we're going to say thank you everyone for watching. We're going to end the broadcast. But hang out for 1 minute, James, and we'll you know, we'll say goodbye. All right, thank you everyone for watching. It's been a fun thing.
See you next time.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
And we're ending the broadcast.